Hi, this is Trent from Speak2Read. I wanted to check in with you again. I'm writing a series of blog posts this month, and I'll pop on here to let you know when the new blogs go up. But I just really drawing attention to a lot of, what would we say, a lot of myths or a lot of misinformation or misperceptions that are out there just around the whole world of reading and the whole world of dyslexia and the assessment process, how kids get tested for learning disabilities and reading disabilities and dyslexia, and also how we look at treating and intervening with these kids. And I'm really excited about some of the content I'm going to put out this month, so I'm going to be on here a couple times to tell you about it. First, I'm starting with just talking about some of the pitfalls that come up with testing. I think people get really excited about testing. They really want to test for dyslexia and they want to test for learning disabilities. And they start going through a whole bunch of paperwork, and get put on a waiting list. They go through this whole referral process, and then the child sits for these hours of assessments or all these batteries of assessments, and then they wait to get their assessment results, and then they wade through this 10 and 15 and 20 page report with all of these results. And I just feel like people get really caught up in the fact or the idea that getting this assessment done is going to provide some kind of an answer. People are looking for an answer. And I really find that when we look at testing, especially standardized testing, what it does is it tells us diagnostically how a child compares to all of the other children of that age, what the average expected score is in an age range or an average score range. That child will get compared to all of his peers to see if he lands in the average range or not. So it really is a diagnostic test that's binary. It's just determining problem or no problem. And that's really all the test tells us. Is there a problem or is there not a problem? So it really tells us what the child can do and maybe what the child can't. But it doesn't give us a whole lot of information about why the child can't do it, or how the child learns, or how we should teach the child. So while assessment can be a very important starting point, it really is not the end-all, the be-all and end-all at all. And people get really excited and interested in getting the assessment process completed, thinking that it's going to lead somewhere. And quite often people feel that it does. Out of the assessment, they'll start looking at an intervention. They'll say, well, your son came out in this score, and for kids in this score range, we usually recommend this program, or maybe finding someone who's trained in this method. And I really find that canned one-size-fits-all intervention stuff just does not work, especially for a child with a speech and language disability, a learning disability, or dyslexia. You can't just spit out a diagnostic label based on some scores and from there find the intervention that all of those kids all get lumped together and they all get lumped in to use the same thing. It just doesn't work. And so I'm very interested for you to pop over to my website at speak2read.ca. I've got a blog up there right now about some of the advantages of dynamic performance assessment, actually getting kids to read and spell and working with them while they're doing that to see how they process information, what strategies they're using, what strategies they're not, what things you can teach them, giving some cueing and prompting and seeing how it changes the process of what they're doing, how they can actually change their learning behaviors based on the cues and prompts and coaching that you give them. That stuff is really cool. I invite you to check out that blog on dynamic performance assessment, and then watch for next week. Next week I'm going to put up a blog called The Pitfalls of Testing. I'm going to put up part 1 because it's getting a little lengthy. Part 2 is going to come after that. And then the real meat and potatoes, the stuff I'm really excited about. I've got some warning signs, some things for parents to watch for. There's some people out there who are making a lot of money, and unfortunately the programs that they're peddling just don't have your child's best interest in heart. And I really want to shed some light on that. So I look forward to where this is going. It's going to be a great month. Hang in there. Shovel that snow.